Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, Sire. Good evening, Zazu. Checking in with the Even Report. Fire away. How you beautiful people doing? All right. So here's the deal. Microsoft's $7.5 billion deal with ZeniMax and Bethesda has been approved by regulators. The deal is done, people. The deal is done. Oh yeah. There's a couple of articles, couple articles I found today. One on Tweaktown. There's one on Tweaktown, and then there's one on Kotaku. But yesterday I seen an article saying Microsoft was one step closer. And today, the deal is done, people. Yeah. Game Pass is in full effect. They already got a big user base, and now it's going to grow even bigger now. Listen to this. This article from Tweaktown says Microsoft buyout of Fallout 4 maker approved by worldwide regulators. It says worldwide. This on Tweaktown article, by the way. It says here worldwide regulators have approved Microsoft buyout of ZeniMax Media, solidifying one of the biggest acquisitions in gaming history. Both the SEC and the European Commission have greenlit Microsoft's $7.5 billion buyout of Bethesda parent company ZeniMax Media. Today, the European Regulation Board endorsed the takeover today with unconditional approval under Article 6.1b. The Commission concluded that the proposed acquisition would raise no competition concerns, giving the combined entity limited market position upstream and the presence of strong downstream competitors in the distribution of video games. The transaction was examined under the normal merger review procedure, the European Commission said in a press statement. The news comes shortly after ZeniMax Media majority stakeholders, Province Equity, inadvertently confirmed the acquisition approval. Microsoft purchased Province Equity stake of an undisclosed sum, promised a six-fold return for their share value. And it says Microsoft has also issued a new share exchange offering with 30-year maturity rate to help raise the $7.5 billion capital for ZeniMax acquisition. The deal is done, people. The deal is done. The deal is done. Okay. And that was a good acquisition too when you really look at it. When you think of the games that they're getting, especially Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield and all that. The deal is done, man. So let the game begin, man. See, this is why you don't take the game industry for granted, man. You know, this is why I get mad at Nintendo too, because they be hop skipping, and not being consistent. You know, and same thing with Sony. You know, it's like they should have been working on their infrastructure with the PS2. Like you put a USB port on the PS2, but you didn't give people the ability to put like a 500 gig or a 1 terabyte hard drive on the PS2 to save your games. Same thing with the PlayStation 3. And then PlayStation 4, you finally let it accept external hard drive support. You know, your fans got on you about it. So Microsoft wasn't playing. So when Microsoft came in, you know, people were taking shots at them. You know, and Microsoft did things quietly. You know, while everybody was talking about sales and exclusive, they were talking to the ZeniMax and Bethesda for 3 years. The deal is done, man. The deal is done. You know. So now they're getting a lot of games under those studios, a lot. You know, because there's like some expansion, other companies that branch out from ZeniMax and Bethesda that's under that deal. So they're gonna be getting a lot of games, man. And that was a good move on their part. You know, that was a good move on their part. You know, like how Sega have their own games, and Sony have Naughty Dog have their own games, and Nintendo. Microsoft needed to do that, man. You know, so and plus these companies are getting powerful consoles from Microsoft to build their games. So yeah, it's gonna show. So the deal is done, man, and that's the name. That's the name of the game. The deal is done. 7.5 billion, lock, stock, and barrel, and they're gonna be getting some good games. You know, so yeah. When it comes to this game industry, man, you can't be hop skipping all over the place. You gotta be consistent, you know. This is why I got mad at Nintendo with the Wii U. Like what the heck you doing? Talking about they building a Switch. You should have put some power behind the system, and then go back and work on your exclusive games that you got. Your Mario's, your Zeldas, your F-Zeros, your Metroids, all of that, man. You build a Switch as powerful as you can, drop it on the market. Now go back and work on your games, man. You know, like I said, Anthem and Destiny exposed Metroid. Metroid can't hide anymore. With that, just the way they used to make Metroid games on the GameCube, and nah. You see, like how Anthem and Destiny is, where you go to markets and buy all that stuff before you take on a map. That's how Metroid need to be. So when I said Anthem and Destiny exposed Metroid, it did. You know, so you can't be, like I said, man, you can't be hop skipping all over this game industry. You got to be you got to be consistent. And Microsoft was just making move after move after move, and they never abandoned the problem. Especially with Xbox. The original Xbox came out, then they came out with Xbox Live. Then Halo 2 was too big for the original Xbox. They came out with the 360, Red Ring of Death. They didn't abandon the 360, they fixed it, and they kept moving. Then came Xbox One, when the head of the gaming division, he screwed up. You know, so what they did, they got rid of him and then hired Phil Spencer, and then kept using Xbox One and made some improvements within the system and within that infrastructure, and they just kept moving. You know, and they never left nobody in the dark. So they just kept moving, and they went from an Xbox One to an Xbox One S, and then from the Xbox One S to the Xbox One X. That's when 4K gaming came into play, because 4K game streaming was on the Xbox One S, but to play games in 4K, the Xbox One X came into play. And then 4K gaming took off, and they kept making moves, and then they announced about the Xbox Series X and S, and they never hit anything. They let people know what they were doing, especially with that show this week on Xbox. So they were moving. They were doing things that Nintendo and Sony weren't doing. So, but that Bethesda deal in ZeniMax, that was a 3-year conversation. They were talking for 3 years, you know. And now the deal is done, man. Solidified. Let the games begin. And yes, they are getting some hitters, people. You best believe it. You know, Microsoft got Rare from Nintendo. Nintendo had Rare, and all Nintendo had to do was build a powerful console and just throw it at Rare and say, okay, do what you do. They didn't. They took Rare for granted. Look at Rare. Look at Rare Studios over at Microsoft. Let's see if Thieves do the talking. They just making moves, man. You know what I'm saying? One of the reasons I think Sony did that Spider-Man exclusivity, because they saw what Microsoft was doing. Like, man, we got to keep up with these dudes. So, you know, Sony like, you know what? We're gonna make Spider-Man exclusive to us, man. We gotta do something because Microsoft is moving fast here. Yeah. I mean, of course, Sony had God of War and all that. They got God of War, Gran Turismo. They got their own exclusive games. You know, Horizon Zero Dawn and all that. But that Spark, they had to make Spider. They they made Spider-Man exclusive because they saw how fast Microsoft was moving. Microsoft was like this, moving. You know what I'm saying? And Nintendo had the Wii U. They were ahead with everybody. All they had to do was put some power behind the system and keep on using it. But oh no, they try to sell people the Switch, and the Switch it couldn't even keep up with the Xbox One and PS4. So yeah, but Microsoft just kept moving. You know? Yeah, man. The deal is done, man. It is done. Let the games begin, man. Yeah, they got some hitters coming, man. You know what would be interesting too? What would be interesting? If they buy Anthem from EA. If they get Anthem from EA and put 100 people just to work on that game, yeah, that game need to be saved, man. It got too much potential to it. You can't kill it. You can't get rid of it. You can't kill a game like that, man. Man, whoo, yeah, they're moving, man. And they got the money, and they got the clout and the money to do it. Microsoft, yeah. They were making so much moves, man. Moves. And about what? We're in the March right now, so April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Xbox TV is coming out. So there's gonna be an app on your TV. You just take your controller, turn the TV on, and play your games, man. Oh yeah, they're moving. Yeah. Anyway, man. Wow. Yeah. I've seen some acquisitions in my life, man. I've seen some acquisitions. I've seen some acquisitions on the PC size that can't be topped. But I've seen some acquisitions in console, but this one, man, is huge. Oh yeah, it's huge. Anyway, man, I'm gonna leave a link in the description box so you guys can read this article. Cause I need to go eat anyway. Nice talking to you people. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. More dark side. Come on. Peace.